of our replays there now as well too. So if you want to watch that. But let's get today started. What's up, Warrior? Welcome back to Warrior Wisdom. And today I got a question to start out with you. Is if you found a pot of gold, what would you do with it? If you found a pot of gold, like what would you do with it? Would you keep it to yourself? Would you swim in it like Scrooge McDuck in DuckTales? Would you, perhaps you would share, right? Maybe you've heard this saying before. If you've been in any types of sales, if you found a pot of gold, you go share it, wouldn't you? Go give it to everybody and you go like give it to your family and like you bring everyone. It's like an unlimited pot of gold. All right. Well, today I want to give a little take on this that I think will help you in your business and it'll help you bring down the angst that can happen in your business. Because who here does believe that we have in Partner Co. a pot of gold? All right, give me a wave or put it me in the comments below. Like, we have incredible products. We just launched the new Renew. I know we're all hyped up about this. We have an incredible compensation plan. We have an amazing community. We have like, I don't know, like we have a lot of stuff. It's hard to say. Like it's just we feel very well fed here. But who here has also had the experience where you knew you had a pot of gold, you knew you had an amazing opportunity, and yet those that you wanted to share it with did not receive it that way? Have you had that happen before? You're scratching your head. You're like, don't you see it? You need this in your life. Hey, you told me you wanted to lose weight and now you're not taking it. Hey, you told me you've been complaining about wanting to make more money and you're not saying yes. Like, what's up with this? Why is this happening? Well, I want to give some tips today, practical and also mindset, that I think is going to help you to be able to get more yeses in your business, to be able to help you promote events, to be able to help you get more customers and partners. If you're ready for it, put in the chat, I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay. Super important that we get this down. One of the biggest things that I've learned as a skill set in this business is the skill of invitation. And the skill of invitation, we teach a lot in our system about attraction, right? So we do our launch post, we do a pin post. We're talking about that in our fast start yesterday. And the pin post is important because it gets your information out there, right? It allows people to see what you're doing and ask a buying question. We do in our launch week, we have a 9 and 3 post for the drops. Many of us here have done that. It starts to just get the information out there, right? We do a lot of attraction. Some of us here, we're starting to make reels. Elaine Simmons, she just won. We had a big Renew challenge and she had 27 people in the machine in 1 week. In 1 week. How? Well, she's been doing the daily methods of operation, but she's also now starting to expand more on social media and having people come to her. So she's doing all those different things. But I believe one of the most powerful parts in our daily methods of operation to getting you more yeses is also found in the launch week, but it's the art of invitation. It's the art of invitation. What's an invitation? It's you going to somebody and asking them out on a date, right? It's Nick Albee asking the biggest question of his life when he drops the knee and pops the question to the love of his life. Will you marry me? You know, well, I guess an invite's not that intense, okay? Like that's not what we're doing here, but it's asking a question. It is one of the most essential, if you want to be able to control the speed in your business, to be able to share outbound. You know, I'm a fan of attraction. But who here knows that action is also important as well too, right? To go outbound, to share something amazing. And I think if you had a pot of gold, you're not just going to sit there and be like, all right, guys, come on in. Let's just wait, right? People need to know there's a pot of gold. They need to have an awareness to that. So if you had a pot of gold and you knew that you had an overflow of it and you want to help people out there, how would you do it? Now, how would you do it? Let's use this example here. Let's say Diane is not who she is. She's a very positive, open-minded person. But let's say she was like the normal person. And let's say this is my approach. And I go up to Diane and be like, Diane, I found a pot of gold. It's unlimited. You got to come right now. You need this in your life. While that might sound good, let me tell you the reality of what's probably going to happen. She's going to say it's too good to be true. She's going to say, what are you smoking? You say, a pot of gold? That's just what leprechauns see, right? Like literally, these reactions are going to start to happen. And she's going to say, hey, come back to me when, like cash the gold. Tell me if it's real or not. And why I bring this analogy up is this. It's just because something's amazing doesn't mean someone's going to say yes to it right now. One thing that I've found that's interesting is that me and Becky were going through pregnancy, right? So we had a 5-year infertility journey. And it was interesting because we'll talk about our journey and all of a sudden our inbox will be flooded with advice. Have you guys ever had that happen before in your life? You ask a question, you're going through a struggle, and people are like, oh, like we looked at every single essential oil in the world, every single supplement in the world, every single procedure in the world. We've heard about everything. But there's a saying that people don't like to, they like to buy. Who here loves the feeling of buying, especially when it's a good deal? By the way, that's why we got the 10-pack of the Renew. Did anyone else get one of the deals on the Renew? Like, oh my gosh. You know what Becky said? It was so funny. She's like, I want to get the 10-pack because I want the free frother. Guys, the frother's like $10. If you really think about it. So we're spending almost $1,000 to get a $10 free thing. But it's not about how much it costs or how much you save. I get it. And we love Renew anyway. So we got it, right? But I bring this up because we all love to buy. So if we all love to buy, you're scratching your head saying, why don't people love to buy from me? It's like, that's coming from me. It's because people don't like to feel sold. People want to make their own decision. They might know there's value, but they might not feel like they've been led to make their own decision. So I want us to reflect today on a couple things. If you're not getting as many sales as you want, if you're not getting as many brand partners joining you as you want, if you're not getting as many people compliant to what you want them to do that you know is in their best interest, meaning partners are not listening to you, customers aren't listening to you, could it be that we could be wiser with how we lead them with our communication? Could it be that we're so excited that we're trying to force them to buy rather than leading them so they can say yes to buying themselves? If you're still with me, say, I'm with you in the chats. Like, start to think about these things. We could become more wise with this. We can become more discerning with this. So when I learned the value of asking questions rather than telling someone about something, and I learned the value of leading people through our amazing words, and I learned that art, everything changed for me. I realized it's a skill. I realized we have an amazing thing, and more people do start to buy. So let me give an example here. So we're watching this live. We have a couple of amazing calls that's happening, right? So tonight we have a Wellness 360 Live. We're talking all about Renew. Who here knows that if you had a prospect on this call with Kristen White, more than likely, they're going to be very interested in the product and potentially buying, right? Like we know these calls are incredible. You want your people on them and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. We have a call like that. We also have a call if you want more partners. Well, we also have the legendary Greg and Lanika Scott for Thursday. Who here knows that if you had a prospect that was on this call and they learned from people that made $40 million in 10 years, that they might have a higher likelihood of saying yes as well too, right? Put a yes in the comments if you would agree. Like, it's like, yes, they just have to be in front of the thing. Okay. So how do we get more people in front of the thing? Well, it's not telling people that they have to, but it's inviting them to. Okay. In our boards, we have in the message scripts. I love this. In each of the message scripts, the first script in them is what you call an invitation script. So for example, renew. We have what's called the new invite for renew prospect. Okay. This is an example of not a demand, but a question you can ask. So it allows people to say yes or no. Every single time you're talking to a prospect or someone and you want them to do something, end with a question. Okay, type that in the chat. End with a question. End with a question. It gives them the opportunity to respond. We're not telling. We're not selling. We're asking. We're inviting. We're allowing them to have their own God-given free will to say yes. If you force someone across the finish line, starting line, you're gonna have to force them across the finish line. So I don't want to force. I don't want to convince. I want to lead. Give them the opportunity. Okay, so we know Renew's amazing. Okay, so number one, mind state. Mind state. Before we get into this, how do you ask the question correctly? Here's what you don't want to do when you ask an invitation. Don't ask expecting them to say no. I don't know if you guys are like this, okay? But we do the weirdest things to self-sabotage yourself. Would anyone agree that we're our own worst enemy? Let me give you some story. So I remember when I first learned an invitation like this, and I'll read through it. I'll go to someone like Nick. I'm like, hey, super random. Have you heard much about HGH? I think I just accidentally stumbled upon the next viral product. It increases fat burning, helps with sleep, energy, libido. It's all about naturally boosting HGH. Would you be open for some info on them? If not, no worries, just thought I'd ask. Who here would agree that that's a nice question? Right? Like that can land well. Deborah's like, yes, right? Sign me up. Oh yeah, I'm already here. So this question will work, as it will work. That's the renew one. You also have the make money one. I changed this up just a little bit. Hey, Eva, it's random. I found a way to make a 6-figure income in 6 months, all on social with automations that do the heavy lifting. Want to see it? If not, no worries, just thought I'd ask. You see how that's not imposing? Do you see how that allows it soft? It allows them to say yes or no. It's not annoying, right? It's not like you need this in your life. You do, but it allows them to say yes or no. To always end with the question. However, here's the script, which is good. Here's what we also need to do if we're trying to give someone this pot of gold. Expectation is important. I remember when I learned these scripts and I got so empowered and excited. And then I'm about to talk to Diane Odom. I'm like, she's a dream teammate. Let's go. And before I launched the message, you know what I would do? My mind would say this. I would be like, why would she say yes? She's going to say no. She's going to leave this unread. She's not going to be interested. She's busy with her life. She's got all this stuff and all these things on why they're going to say no and reject me come to my mind. Is that just me or is anyone else like that sometimes? Like we do the thing that we want to lead to success, and yet we mentally block ourselves from accepting the success. Energy is important. Expectation is important. Why do we do this? Why? And the reason is because we want to guard our ego. The reason is we all don't like to be rejected. Rejection of self is one of the most painful feelings in the world. So if we ever get in here, here's a hack to knowing how to ask this question well. It's not about you. Put in the chat, it's not about me. It's not about me. They're not rejecting you. You're just the messenger. You're not, let me keep it real. We're not that special where they will care about us that much. What do they care about? If we're talking about Renew or the drops, they care about what's in it for them with their health. What do they care about? If it's dealing with money, can this help me be able to have a better retirement? Can this help me pay for my dream wedding? Like, that's what they care about. They don't care about you that much. But we make it about ourselves. So because of that, we put up guards and we try to prepare ourselves to handle embrace for disappointment. So we say, oh, they're going to say no, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to ask anyway. Sister, brother, it's not about you. It's never about you. Perfect love casts out all fear is the scripture. So at that moment, here's the flip. What's in it for them? Can you get excited for them? In the beginning, I had to literally stop. I had to literally meditate. I had to literally get myself psyched up. If you got to go do some jumping jacks, if you got to go listen to some music, if you got to like get yourself hyped for anticipation for them, when you expect their outcome, start visualizing and imagining them not saying no. But you know what I envision now? And this has happened so many times. Envision when you give them the invitation, they come back to you and they're like, I've been praying for something like this. Who here would love to be the answer to a prayer? Literally, they're like, thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to receive this. You see, when you invite somebody, you're not trying to talk to them to try to get you to get what you want. Your intention is to talk to them to help them get what they want. And let me tell you the secret here. If you shift the heart set here, people can tell the heart. Who here has ever gotten a message from somebody and you're like, this is like, it's like icky. It's like, ew, like they're just trying to sell me, right? Ick, exactly. People can feel intention. So be sure to be on the other side, the positive side. I have a positive expectancy. So when I'm sending out this invitation, and I do it fast now, I send it a lot fast. That's why some people say, James, I'm using the scripts and no one's saying yes. First of all, it's not no one. Probably it's because you're only talking to 5 people and it's not enough people. Okay, but if you're talking like 20, 50 people, by the way, and you're not getting a good response, these are now things I'm like, okay, let's check these things. Who here knows that you do need to sow enough seed for there to be a harvest as well too? So we control that. So when I'm talking about doing invitations, I'm talking about sending out 10, 20, 50, 100, like, yes, we need numbers, but also let's have the intention there. And when I started to shift this is what I started to realize is that when I started to focus on them and not me, and I started to focus on giving them an invitation, not just forcing something, because it's not about what I think is good for them. Many of your parents who has had a rebellious child, right? No, my kids are perfect, James. They're, angels. Why do they get rebellious? Many times, and you've probably noticed this, nagging doesn't work. Forcing doesn't work. They want to be respected as their own individual self that can make their own free will decision, which sometimes means the bad decision. Parents, you have to be okay with a bad decision, right? But they take ownership. And in your business, we don't own anybody. We don't own your prospect. We don't own your teammate. We don't own your customer. It's a volunteer army. They choose. So we have to allow this opportunity for them to be respected as a human being to make a decision by asking them questions where they can say yes or no. Does this click? Put yes in the chats if it does. It's so important that we understand this. This is how I don't get anxiety when someone says no. How could they not say yes? Jim Rohn would say, don't sign up for that class. It's not up to you to make them say yes. I don't know. Who knows? They know. It doesn't matter. Does your life and your business depend and hinge on the yes of one person? If it does, who's controlling your life? Right? Like, I don't care. Our job is to share. Our job is to give the opportunity. Our job is to extend the arm. Their job is to say yes or no. Hey, they're lost if they say no, but I don't judge them for it. But I am excited. We have a pot of gold. I know this can value people. I know I have a responsibility to share it. If you found the cure for cancer, who here would say that it would be a crime for you to not share it? Right? Like, it would be an actual crime. That's the same with this business. It's a crime for us not to share the product, share the opportunity. But also there is some wisdom on how to share it, to not impose it and to overwhelm someone with it, but to invite them, to extend the arm with love, with expectancy for what's in it for them, and to disconnect yourself from the process of the outcome. And just know that for you and your goals, if you sow enough seed in with the right way, with the right intention, it will land on good ground, and you're going to have amazing customers, and you're going to have amazing partners, and all these things are going to start to happen. Are you expecting a good harvest? Are you expecting success? I like really think about these things as you go out using some scripts, as you go out inviting people, as you go out sharing the gold that's been given to each and every single one of us. And if you do it this way, you're going to find this business becomes fun, because all we're doing every day is sharing a gift. And we know that if you give, it comes back running over, shaken, running over, it's overflowing. There is a law of reciprocity in this world. So yes, share gift with love. A gift also is not a gift if you expect something back, by the way. Can you imagine I gave Diane a gift? Hey, where's mine back? Like, no, a gift is free-handed, open-handed. A gift is something that's like, here you go. When you invite, you give a gift. It's up to them what they say. Okay. I went through a lot of different things, but there's a mindset, there's a skill set. Yes, if you had a pot of gold, you would want to share it. But there's also a way to share it as well, too. Does this make sense? Does this click, guys? I hope this gets into your brain a little bit, your mind a little bit. Reflect upon this as you're going through your due today. Really think, okay, how do I be more diligent on these things and wise about these things? And I promise you on the other side, you will find you have a pot of gold here with Partner Co. This can pay for all of your dreams. This can fuel all of your desires. This can be one of the most impactful journeys and transformative journeys of the world. But there is some things that we need to do on our end as well, too. So here's your challenge. Give this gift today. Use some of our invite scripts. I'd encourage you, invite at least 10 people. Put a top 10 list. Okay. Think who needs the opportunity, who needs the product. Done, Maria. Let's go. Maria's about to have a breakthrough, by the way. I've been watching Maria's shifts happen, like spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Sister is about to have a breakthrough. I just feel it. Okay. So go with this top 10 list and be mindful to your expectancy of them. Be mindful with how you're using the scripts. Have it be an open-handed gift, no expectation, and just go for 10. And just check that off. Be intentional. If you're up for that, put a 10 in the chats below and have fun. Opportunity, product, doesn't matter. You can drive them towards the calls, doesn't matter. But have fun with that. Awesome. Hey, so proud of you. You are world changers. You are impactors. You are warriors. You're transforming people's lives. I'm so proud of you, every single one of you, and expectant for your breakthrough. All right, guys. On that, we'll see you on the calls. It'll be fun.